with the Midweek Howl, the non-paranormal part of the From the Shadows podcast, and I am joined by our illustrious Ozark Howler. How'd your weekend go, Howler?
It was great. It was absolutely great.
It was great. It was great. You guys, we haven't talked since the tornadoes, have we? We haven't done an episode since the tornadoes.
No, we haven't. No.
Okay. Because I had almost forgot that last week my town got hit by a tornado. The post office got brushed by a tornado, and the funny thing is the postmaster took a video from inside the post office.
I saw it
as it was hitting, send it to me. It went viral. My phone rang off the hook all night from news organizations wanting to license it, and then I ended up being on Fox Weather Channel. And the funny thing is I'm on the mail route, and I'd already got called by one. They just somehow found my number on the internet, and they called me, the Cleveland station. So this is like the Fox Weather Channel. This is the lady's out of New York, and she's a producer, and she sends me a message, and she goes, "Is it okay to call you?" So they call me. I'm on the mail route. And she goes, "Hey, we want to interview you about the tornado, about the video." And I said, "Well, okay, first of all, I can't represent the post office. They're funny about that." I go, "Number two, I'm not going to mention the postmaster's name. He's the one that took the video. I wasn't even in the post office when the video got taken.
I was out there delivering those Amazon packages for you people."
Luckily, I was done and out of town. Okay. Luckily, I was done and out of town. But I couldn't even imagine being out there when those winds hit, being in one of those mail trucks, because there's nothing to them as it is. It will, rolled you over like a pop can. And they go, "We don't care. We want to talk to you about it, and we want to talk about what's going on in town, whatever." So long story short, I'm scheduled to go on with them like at 6:30, and they're like, prep me at 6:30, and I'm sitting there to go on at 6:50, but I'm watching the news that they're doing. Okay, these weather people, and they're in Missouri. They're covering Missouri that night. And there's all kinds of tornadoes in Missouri. And I'm sitting there going, I can't text you. I can't do anything because I'm on my phone on video with them. And I'm like, oh my God, are you getting hit with these?
I live down in the hole in the Ozarks. So anything less than 100 megatons ain't going to touch me. It's going to blow right over the top. But go ahead.
So I found out later that they were at least, what'd you say, an hour away from you?
Yeah.
60 miles. But I don't know that. So I'm sitting there going, oh my God, or something happened to you? And in fact, I said something to the one producer. I said, one of the guys on with me, he lives in Missouri. So anyways, they go, "Hey, look, we got to cut your segment. There's all these tornadoes. We got to stay on the air." So they end up then, after they cut it, ask me to come back an hour later. And I said, "Okay, I'm going to come back, but I want to remind you, I'm not representing the post office. I am not using the postmaster's name, and I was not in the building when that video was taken." So I'm getting ready to go live. An hour later, I had to pull over because I was driving somewhere else. I had to pull over, and I'm sitting in this parking lot, and I'm waiting, and they start showing the video. Okay. And this guy who's got to be hopped up on, I don't know what cocaine does to you, but for him to be so enthusiastic and excited all the time about weather, he's got to be hopped up. And the first question, he goes, "Oh my God, Shane Grove, what was it like being in the post office when that tornado hit?" That was the first thing he asked. And so rather than, having the interview come to a complete halt, I just went along with it and answered the questions very carefully as to not say that I was in the post office, but it ended up being a good interview. I don't know. If people want to see it, they can go to, I don't know. I think Nita put it up on Instagram, and I have no clue where it's at. It's on Facebook somewhere. So if you want to see me on the news, totally winging it because the guy asked a question that I told him he shouldn't. There you go. So
maybe he did it on purpose to see what you'd do if you'd stall out or if you'd roll.
I don't even think he knew a thing. I think they just said, "Hey, here's some. We're going to show you a video. Here's a guy from Ohio. Ask him some questions." There you go. There you go. But it was crazy though.
Did you say it's the best thing happened? It blew all that residual residue from the train derailment away. So we needed it last year.
Wrong city in Ohio.
It doesn't matter. People out here don't know that. You should I thank President Biden for bringing us that tornado because he was out there that week. Yeah. For cleaning this mess up.
It wasn't J.D. Vance, I can tell you that. Because
is he from Ohio? He's from Ohio, isn't he?
He claims he's from Ohio. I mean, I think he was from Ohio. He wrote the Hillbilly Elegy thing. Then he moved to California, and then he decided to come back and run for Senate.
You're serious? He wrote something like it. What is it? The Hillbilly what? I'm gonna look it up.
Hillbilly Elegy. You didn't know that it was a book, and they made it into a Ron Howard, I think, directed it.
Then I probably didn't see it. Most other than Rush, most Ron Howard movies don't really do it for me.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Hillbilly Elegy is his big
claim right here.
Yeah.
Its subject is rural sociology, poverty, family drama. Is it supposed to be real?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
His upbringing and a family background growing up in Middleton, Ohio. He writes about family history, poverty, low paying physical jobs have since disappeared. Well, hell, I could have wrote this.
Well, then do it. J.D. Vance is a real go-getter.
Let me tell you, he eventually he left Middleton, went to Ohio State, and then Yale Law School. And he's telling you what it's like to be poor white trash. I could go up here to top the hill and get you 40 people that'll talk to you I could go down to county jail and write 15 of these people, and they're still living it.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? They can't even spell Yale.
Or they spell it Y-E-L-L.
Yeah, they yell. Why are we yelling? You're right here. Why would we yell?
Oh my gosh!
I did not know that. You just changed the whole posture of this. You know,
the whole posture. Because J.D. Vance is one of the guys screaming about the train derailment.
I don't care.
Or train
subject. You know what I mean? This is non-political. We are above politics.
Well,
we are entertainment business. We are not in the make-believe business of politics.
Speaking of Hillbilly Elegy, I think our buddy Chris Hahn I know he read for a part, but I don't know if he got it or not. I don't remember. But that leads me to this weekend. As some people might remember, he invited me to come sit at his table at it was the 2024 pop culture convention there at the Wooster, Ohio at the Wayne County Fairgrounds. And let me tell you something. We are definitely in the wrong business.
What is pop culture doing?
So at this show was signing autographs, other than me and Chris Hahn, because we were signing autographs at a table, and which is dumb to even say that I'm signing autographs. But
whose name was you signing on them?
I was signing yours.
That's right. That's a good answer.
But we did. One of our a real fan of the show, guy really loves the show. Toby he's like from the Massillon Canton area. He came, brought his grandson TJ, got to talk to him. I think he came to Monster Fest and he met the judge. I didn't get to meet him there, but I got to meet him, talk to him for quite a while. TJ, then his grandson, got to meet Chris Hahn, and Chris is great in these situations because he's very loud. He's the wrestler guy, and he just loves to talk about what he's doing, and get everybody involved. And so he's talking to the kid, you like wrestling, who's your favorite wrestler and stuff. And, signed a big picture for him. And I told the kid, I said, hey, now get on YouTube and look up Chris Hahn, and you can see all the times he got his butt beat in the ring wrestling. I go, and then you can tell everybody you met that guy who wrestled all the famous people. So, but we're sitting there. So they put us in the one corner with a guy who collects movie props or movie, stuff for movies. Okay. And this guy happened to have the ghillie suit that Chris wore in the movie Wrong Turn. And he was wearing this ghillie suit and he had like a mask on, and he gets hit in the head and killed in the movie. And that kind of is the genesis for what happens in the movie. So the guy he's also from Massillon, Ohio, brings the ghillie suit, puts it on a mannequin. So Chris can kind of take pictures if people want to take pictures, and they'll pay some money and with him with the ghillie suit, because there's a lot of people that love that movie. Well, so right beside us, this guy has brought in. Did you ever see the movie The Black Phone? I never saw it, but it stars Ethan Hawke. So he has the van from the movie The Black Phone.
They drove it into the convention center and parked it there?
Drove it into the convention center. Beside it is the 1990 Bronco from the 2018 version of Halloween that apparently I think Michael Myers drives in a scene or two. Okay. But in this Black Phone, the van for the Black Phone, Ethan Hawke plays the killer, and he drives his van around, and it's like, I don't know, it's like a party, like they have party supplies or something, and they kidnap kids or whatever. So the guy tells me what he paid for this van, which was not very much to just even buy a van like it, let alone.
How did he know it's the right one? Did they sign it or autograph it or something? Yeah.
All this stuff comes with full documentation, that it's right van. But he took it to a show, and I'll tell you off the air the numbers because you won't believe it. But he took it to a show, the first show in Pittsburgh, and almost paid for the van. And the first show he took it to, charging $20 a piece for people to get in the van and take pictures. It was insane. Really? And then he told us one of his most recent purchases is he owns the entire wardrobe of Joe Exotic from Tiger King.
How did he get that? Buy it from the Marshal Service or something?
No, he said he was talking to Joe Exotic before he went, before he went to jail or something. Yeah. Joe Exotic wanted $500,000 for all his clothes. Okay. So he said he just waited till he went to jail, and then his husband or boyfriend or whatever he was sold him all the clothes for not even close to that much money. So if you're listening, you want to see it, you can go to YouTube, and they did a story about this guy owning all of Joe Exotic's clothes. You can pull it up. You just do a search of guy that collector owns the clothes. He said it's an amazing collect. So this guy's got some really cool stuff. But then so there's people walking around in this dressed up like Star Wars characters, anime characters, all kinds of characters. But there was a guy, I kid you not, the best one, guy dressed up like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Okay. And he comes over, he's got the shirt of like purple pants or whatever. It's green pants, purple shirt, and he's even dyed his hair.
And he looks pretty good?
Looks pretty good. Well, Chris's wife is there with us, and she says, oh, look, it's Shaggy. This guy starts talking like he's Shaggy. Like the same voice. And we're sitting there like, is this real? Is this guy doing this for real? And then he does like the Shaggy run and almost falls down, and he goes, "Oh, zoink!" He talks like Shaggy. It was amazing, but it was so awesome to see all these people that love this stuff so much that they all dressed up. There was a big costume contest and stuff. Over on the other wall, the guy who wore the mask in Scream 2, and I guess he's a super famous, like in the stunt world. He's a famous stunt guy. But he was signing stuff. The guy the guy who played Flick in Christmas Story, Scott Swartz, he's the one that stuck his tongue on the pole in Christmas Story. He was there signing autographs. They had like cardboard cutout leg lamps he was signing. There's some other people, but the one guy, Denny McClain, was there. I think we talked about him, the racketeering thing. He had a whole bunch of stuff. But the guy I met that was also signing autographs that Chris knew because he wrestled him in the 90s was Dan the Beast Severn. Do you remember Dan Severn?
No, I can't say I have.
He very possibly is the most accomplished amateur and professional wrestler of all time. And he was the first, I believe, UFC champion they ever had. He was an Olympic alternate for 2 years. He was a 2-time All-American, Arizona State. He was, like I said, one of the first Ultimate Fighting champions in the UFC. Then he's like in the WWF Hall of Fame, the NWA Hall of Fame. Like he did all this professional wrestling, and he was the nicest guy. He's probably one of the top 5 nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Well, what did you expect?
Here's what I expect, because he's about 65, so he's a little bit old, over 10 years older. And Chris, he has some memory problems from a lot of his wrestling. Okay, he
just getting knocked in the head.
Yeah, Andy had a brain tumor, and that might have been
no excuse, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, that might have been from getting hit. Well, Dan Severn wrestled longer than Chris did, and did the Ultimate Fighting. Which, I'm not saying wrestling's fake because there's real physical activity, but the Ultimate Fighting,
it's not like UFC or something.
Yeah, you're getting punched in the head. And Dan, so Chris introduces me to Dan. He shakes my hand. We start talking. Dan starts poking fun at Chris because he's known him for a long time. And Chris is fun to joke around with and stuff. And it was very obvious he had his complete faculties to him, which I was like, man, that's pretty. Now he's limping a little bit and he's a little, little beat up. But I mean, I'm limping a little bit too, and I'm beat up, and I'm not in any Hall of Fame. But I was super, super impressed. And then he came back around and talked to us a little bit, a little bit more. But that was kind of cool. That was a highlight of meeting Dan Severn for sure, because he's a legend. I didn't even realize what a legend he was. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. But I just told Chris. And I told the judge, because we're trying to write movie stuff, I said, man, we get one iconic thing like Christmas Story or Scream. You can
sit. Set? Is that what you're saying?
You can sign autographs and meet and greet people for.
That's what you told me about this podcast. It ain't happened yet.
Well, we got to get you to Monster Fest. Which, by the way,
I wouldn't charge people for autographs, so I'll probably never make it. I can't be in Dominican Sue,
Dom. Why you get in trouble for charging for autographs?
I think he did in college. That's the rumor. He did it to make ends meet in college. Nowadays they pay him or whatever, but this is before that. Mm-hmm. Maybe one of these days we'll be watching this ESPN 30 for 30 on him or something.
I thought you were gonna for a second there say watching a 30 for 30 on us, but I don't.
We don't have any really sports background, but it sounds cool.
I don't think they could get 30 on us, could it? Would it be more like a
30 seconds?
30 seconds for for 30. So that was kind of cool. And Saturday night, my one of my best friends got inducted into our county Hall of Fame for basketball and stuff. And
you have a county Hall of Fame? What's it called?
It's called the Crawford County Sports Hall of Fame. So it's called.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you in it?
I am not in it. No,
Oh, well.
and none of our basketball teams are in it. Like our basketball teams are in a couple of the other Hall of Fame because this is the fourth Hall of Fame my buddy's in, and he's in our school Hall of Fame. Our school sits in two counties, parts of two counties. So last year he went into the Wyandotte County Hall of Fame. This year he went to the Crawford County, and
Because
then he's
he
also
played in that county too, or they went over there and beat him?
no, because our school district is in two counties.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Winford is our school. The WYN is the Wyandotte, and the Ford is Crawford. So they combine it. So that's why how we got the name Winford. So and then he's in his college Hall of Fame for basketball. So he's got four Hall of Fame. He's in four Hall of Fames for basketball. So he was pretty legit back in the day, and he wasn't even probably the best basketball player on our team. My buddy that's the college baseball coach was a better basketball player all around probably. He just was a better baseball player too. So, but no, it was fun. It was fun to go and get to hang out because he lives outside of town, and be reminded, that all my failings as a high school and college athlete. So, but we're making up for it, right?
That's what you say. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm making up for anything. So,
Well, it's never too late to start over, right?
yeah, it's never too late. So,
Actually, it's too late. I feel it too late every day.
You feel like it's too late?
But that's okay.
Like it's too late every day. Oh God. Oh my gosh. So nothing else exciting happened?
I don't remember. I've lost my train of thought.
Once we
I was
got
up there
on
watching Dodgeball when you texted me a while ago.
the movie Dodgeball.
I'd never seen it. It looked great. No wonder so many of those people come out of there famous if they weren't when they got there. You
had never seen the movie Dodgeball?
I don't watch violent movies like that. Making fun of people at others' expense, that sort of thing.
So are you going to go back and watch? Because that's a classic. That's like
maybe I can't decide. I normally just watch cooking shows. Cooking and travel shows is what I watch nowadays.
So I love to watch cooking and travel shows too. Problem is I don't then take the next step and do any cooking or any traveling, which is the problem. I would like to do both, but I just can't pull the trigger. I see all these great recipes. I follow this guy on Instagram. It's called Over the Fire Cooking, Derek Wolf.
Right.
And oh my gosh, it just looks amazing. They make it look so easy and effortless to make all this stuff. And I just panic. Like, how could I do that? There's no way I can do that. I can't make a fire that good. I can't chop that good. I can't do any of that stuff that good. So I just end up watching it and become hungry, I'd like to do it, but I can't bring myself to doing it. So, although I think you're probably a pretty good cook. I think
look
you're
at
probably
me. Somebody in my space is.
I could see you like by a smoker.
Yeah, I've done that. I thought I'd get it smoking a couple years ago, but I haven't smoked anything since last year, I think.
But you got a big smoker?
No, my dad gave me a big smoker that he bought and used once, but it's almost too big. It's big to set up and it's big to do. And I don't like my brother-in-law smokes all the time, but he's got one of them Traegers or Pit Boss or something. It's got an electronic timer. It's plugged into the house. It's Bluetooth to his phone, and he just dumps the pellets in and tells his phone what to tell it. You know what I mean?
Is that really smoking?
I don't know. You know what? My cousin kind of got me into this a little bit because he's the real deal smoker. He's got a big smoker made out of a diesel barrel that they burnt out, cleaned up a little bit, cut some holes in. But that's a whole nother story. And he put it on a fertilizer buggy frame so he could tow it around and put a whole hog in it. But
that's smoking. That's a guy with like a big long like brush on the end. He's brushing on sauce and stuff.
I asked him about wood chips and all this stuff. He said, no, I just go over to wood pile and I get a couple pieces of just oak or whatever out of my wood pile, and I soak it in a 5-gallon bucket a couple days of water a couple days before I need it. Then I make my bed of charcoal and put some real wood in there, and then I put these water-soaked logs in there every once in a while. And I'm like, you mean all this stuff that they're selling you and all this other stuff? And he said, nah, you don't need any of that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking on my phone here. I'm trying to get a picture of a whole hog in his thing. That's what I'm trying to find out. Somewhere in my phone, I got 19,000 pictures on my phone. I've got a hog going in. I've got the pre-cooked hog, but I can't find a post-cooked hog. I'm going to text you a couple of these. You're more than welcome to put it on a social media or whatever, so our fans can get a feel of my background right here. I couldn't write the hillbilly
elegy, but
elegy. I can't even. What does that elegy mean? But you
elegy.
What's
I just
elegy?
I just think that means story, right? The word allergy.
I don't know. You're the one that went to big boy college. I went to online school. Anyway, I just sent you some pictures. I thought I had one of us taking it out, but I guess I don't. Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, look.
So yeah,
I'm just saying, like, I see those great big giant smokers like that, and I think I'd love to have that, but that just scares me. It terrifies me.
1992. I'm sorry, I'm tired for some reason. In 92, I started working at the sheriff's office in Cole County. They used to have a big barbecue. It's telling me it's a failure because I guess I'm down in the basement instead of being upstairs, so I'll resend it. Anyway, they had a sheriff's barbecue every year at fairgrounds, and that's one of the things the rookies always want to do is go out and work at the fairgrounds with these old timers to get a little street cred so they know who you are. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And these guys would cook like, I don't know how many chickens. I did the last year of the mutton cutting. They did a bunch of lamb, but then the old guy that butchered the lamb my second or third year working there. So by 94 or 5, he died. And when he died, they used that as an excuse to get rid of the lambs because apparently there's a certain way you got to butcher them or they don't turn out right. Have you heard that?
I can imagine. I mean, the eating lamb is, real. There's a real fine line. You can get some real bad lamb. I mean, have you ever had bad lamb?
Well, the closest I come from lamb over in Europe a lot, I would eat off the elephant leg. That's what we'd call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they have that. It's on a brown spit. Looks like a 5-gallon bucket. And I think that is like lamb and goat hot dog. You know what I mean? Like they take all that and put it in something, mash it into a 5-gallon bucket and pull it out like a meat popsicle. And they cook that. So I don't think it's true lamb like they had at the sheriff's office.
That's like the stuff they do at a Greek restaurant.
Yeah, like gyro meat. Yeah, that's So it looks like a big elephant foot. Turning. Mm-hmm.
I will never look at it the same way.
You never not heard that, the elephant foot?
No.
Yeah, it's just like a big elephant foot on the thing, spinning there. Anyhow. Anyway, these guys would cook these chickens and pork steaks all night, and I'm telling you, the next day they would be melt in your mouth. The best chicken, best pork steak I've ever had in my life.
What was the secret? Just
I don't know.
That they cooked them all night?
I guess. What came close was we had a 4-H shooting sports thing a month ago, and these guys on the Catholic parish cooked us chicken all night, all day. I don't know, because I specifically went in there. They had some pieces on a big cutting board that had broke coming in and out, and they were, you'd go over there and pull a piece off or get some. And when me and my boy Charlie walked in the back door, one of the other leaders said, hey, try a piece of that and tell if you think it's good or it's well or it's good enough or whatever. So it was phenomenal chicken. And I ran back outside because I was going to ask those guys that ran the pits, okay, how many hours at what temperature? You know what I mean? Because that's, oh, you got to do it, whatever. And they said, we don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? It's just, and they had these giant pull behind smokers that belonged to one of the guys there, Mark from Mark Mobile Glass, Mark Kemker. I can't throw him a bone advertisement on here because he sold out to Safe Light, but whatever. Anyway, he said they don't even have thermometers on there. We don't know how hot it is. I said, how do you do that then? They said, well, and I'm talking to a guy that's my age, 53, right? But he's got these 19, 20, 20-year-old guys, kids and grandkids with him. And that's, it's like a handed down skill, if you will. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And they don't even, no, we just, cook it. If you cook it all day, it'll be done. And I said, what if it gets too hot? Well, you'll burn it. Well, I mean, what kind of, is that easy? It's like I was down Silver Dollar City when I was a little kid, and this guy was carving. Silver Dollar City's a thing at Branson. They have, wood carving and leather making, and you got these old people dressed up as old hillbillies that, playing banjos or whatever they're doing. And the guy he was making wood. He had carved duck decoys and carved horses and little farm animals. He'd take a piece of wood and sit there, and you could watch him, and he'd sit there and talk and with a knife and whittle out little animals and stuff, right? Yeah. And I said, how do you do that? And he had a duck decoy, and he said, you see that? You just get a block of wood and cut everything off that don't look like a duck. So,
thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.
God only knows what time.